This is a workbench I built last summer for working on electronics projects. It's built with, it's built so I could take it apart and put it back together with bolts. So that's why mainly bolts are the structural members, into the structural members. 4x4s, slight cant to both of them. Back one's canted less than the front one. And then it holds my, what I call boxes, which are my shelves. And the shelves, of course, have a structure underneath them, my major shelves, except for the bottom shelf, which is a flat piece of wood with a 2x4, like a T. But most of my shelves have structures to them. And that's what I built last year. This is a rough drawing of the first bench. Originally it was going to be a little wider. You can see I narrowed it a little bit. That's the original drawing. I just cut a little out. Okay, and this is the bench project I have going on this summer. And hopefully I'll continue this with the completed project. Here's the so-called boxes again, which are my shelves. This bench is going to be smaller. It's only going to be 48 inches wide, but it's going to be taller. It's going to have a total of 5 shelves. It's for my place down state, my small place down there, so I have a little tech bench down there too. I want to get into some of these MCU projects, and I want to keep them together on one bench, along with anything else I need to do down there, short fixes. So this is going to be the shelf that this is going to be the top shelf actually. I made it pretty heavy. It's probably going to get stacked up pretty good. I put a backstop on it though, so I don't push stuff over it. These are out here for painting. These two are painted. This is my equipment shelf. I made it fairly heavy duty too. It's like 1x3s roughly, ripped them down, supporting it. And a front rim on it, because this shelf's actually going to be at a slight angle, tilted in a little bit like this down when it's actually in use. Hold my oscilloscope and whatever else. This shelf's going to go in between these two. It's upside down, of course. You should see there, I put a small backstop on part of it. This here is the frame for the main bench. And the main slab is going to be a little bigger than its 48-inch width. It's going to be a little bit wider than the rest of the bench, but it's going to be mostly supported by this frame. And this is, like I was showing in the other one, a T-shelf for the bottom. This will hug the bottom rim, bottom rung of the whole affair. And that's for holding like boxed projects for temporary storage. So there's the main, the slightly cant. You can see the basic shape of the basic members. This is the tabletop, bench top I should say. I've cut out a couple areas for the supports to go through. Underneath it's the framework that will support the bench top when it's all installed. Kind of like that. And normally I would carpet half of it. That way when you're messing with the chassis of some sort and turning it upside down and stuff, you're not going to scratch it up. And the other half I would cover with an anti-static mat, preferably. Alright, and here's the bench put together loosely, showing all 5 shelves, 6 shelves I guess. And I just had these bolts in loosely just to see if the everything's going to line up okay. A little bottom T-shelf, main shelf. work surface. This one I got tilted is probably going to be tilted in real life. It's going to be where the equipment sits, like a oscilloscope and such. This middle one will be level, and this top one will probably be canted about the way it is too. That's going to be for boxes, stuff to store, storage space. Like I said, this is all going to go to a different location, so that's why I'm not putting it together firmly yet. I'm probably going to paint the side rails. Let's see how it fits with the tabletop. And there it is with the tabletop, thrown loosely on. It's not leveled out or anything. I see I did a pretty good job of calculating my cutouts, but I need to take just a little more out of those yet. So this is basically the project, minus some paint and final assembly at a different location. And a lot of it's adjustable, so it will get leveled out better. And here's the smaller bench in its location in my little commuter house in a storage room. Tiny bedroom I use for storage. Which I'll be trying to straighten out and make a little, at least partial, so I can work in here. But the bench is almost finished. I have to level it out a little bit. Put some pads into the front two legs. All the bolts are hand tight right now. I gotta wrench it down after I level it out. And that's kind of a side view. I was actually going to make it even taller than this. That's why these two top shields were kind of compressed together. I thought I had bought, I thought I had 12-foot boards for these side boards laying in storage, but they were only 10-footers. So I had to compromise the design a little bit. I probably should have gone out and bought some. So I could have used that extra space in here. Although it would have been a little bit tough to reach at that point. This is already above my eye height. So that's pretty good. Like I said, I haven't bolted this down yet tight. But that's basically the concept. I'm going to do some kind of ventilation for it too. I don't know if I'm going to use a small fan perched in the window. It's Michigan, so summers are very hot and the winters are very cold. So I'm more likely going to do a dryer vent and snake it over to the closet, punch a hole through the ceiling in the closet, you know, and dryer vent over to the working surface over here with a fan. I did in my old house in Dearborn, I did a bench like that, and that worked really well for me. I also cut a little square hole in my Dearborn bench, you know, like off to the side, maybe a little square hole, or it could be a round hole, just for dumping like solder and wire ends and stuff down, you know, with a bag underneath it. And that kind of worked out well too, so I may still do that. I haven't fastened the tabletop down yet. Need a few screws in there. Anyway, I only gave you a quick glance at the plans. This is just to give you ideas more than a specific project. You can look at what I did with this bench, what I did with the other bench. Maybe someday I'll append a quick video to this of the bench in Dearborn. That's now my brother's place. But it should work out fine. This is going to be for small projects. I want to get involved with MCUs so I can leave one, you know, project like that laying on one side of the bench and hopefully keep the other side of the bench clear for minor quickie projects, you know, quick fixes around here. Then all my bigger projects will go up north. Hopefully I can keep this bench from looking like the bench up north, which in a very short time got cluttered to death. I already have to declutter my bench up north, which is only not even a year old. Just you can see my bench in Dearborn. The big bench is And I may append to this eventually. That bench is totally covered with junk. So I still got to get there and clean that up. So that's my big challenge, is to stay organized, and that's one of the reasons I went vertical here though, so I have more shelving space. Got a small space to utilize, and I wanted to make most of the vertical space.